We're ready to go. I did speak with the applicant on the one case on the consent docket yesterday afternoon, and he was acting like he was very eager to be here, but so I don't know why he's not. But
all right, let's start the meeting of the Urban Design Commission. Please silence your cell phones and I'll call roll. George McQuistion, here. Brian Fitzsimmons, Betsy Brunstetter, Donna Cervantes, Jorge Charnico, here. Matt Guillory, here. John Robeson, Ben Sellers, here. Jeff Struble, here. Great, that's a lot. We got quorum. Okay, first item of business, approval of the minutes. Unless anyone has an objection, I suggest we approve these by unanimous consent. All right. 5A, consent docket. And Michael, just so I'm clear, the UDC already approved this, right? This is just
yes, 2 years ago in April, and it expired in April because they did not follow through with the construction.
Do we have a motion?
Oh, I move.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay. Motion by Brunstetter, seconded by Struble. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the consent docket passes. No cases for individual consideration. 7, other business. A, the 2016 scheduled meetings.
Yes, every year about this time we put together a schedule for the meetings that are coming in 2016. And we need to get it done at this meeting. We normally would have done it in October, but we had a cancellation of that meeting this year. So we need to get it done so we can get it to the city clerk's office and all that can be posted. So up to your discussion as to whether or not the meeting dates and the deadlines we've proposed for you are acceptable.
Move approval.
Motion by Brunstetter, second.
Second.
By Charnico. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the calendar passes. Communications 8A, administrative approvals. Number 1, 601 Northwest 7th Street. And Michael, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a brief overview, because this was slightly contentious when it came through. I'm just curious what the changes are and that we all know about them.
Unfortunately, this was approved by Lisa while I was out of the office, but it basically has a lot of new changes going on with respect to the height of the courtyard wall, introduction of a rooftop deck, some modifications to the material on the canopy in the front of the building, addition of downspouts, a variety of changes that all met the threshold for administrative approval. So,
this question may catch you flat-footed because you may know it offhand and you may not, and if you don't, that's fine. But do we know if they ever went back and changed the height of that wall based on there was like the
wall that supposedly needed a variance?
Yes.
Yes, it turns out it didn't need a variance.
Okay.
If you were to measure that wall at the courtyard on the street side of Dewey, from the outside it was 12 foot tall. But that's not how Development Services measures walls. They measure it from the highest interior, at the highest grade. And on the interior of that courtyard wall, it is an 8-foot wall, and that meets code.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. Did you want to discuss the staff approval on 16th? You don't have to. I'm just, if you had any comments about it, feel free to mention them.
On 16th Street, yeah, that was just a fenced-in patio area that was put up without approval, and they were cited. So they came into us with the application for the CA, and we went out and reviewed it. And we feel it's in keeping with the district and actually something we want to kind of promote out there.
Yeah, that's great.
So they do need to go ahead after this CA has been approved to get a revocable permit to have those facilities in the public right-of-way, but beyond that, they're in pretty good shape, so.
Okay, great, thank you. B, comments from Planning Department staff, the workshop, did you want to discuss that at all?
Yes, this is a workshop that we've started trying to do over the last couple of years. Last year's, I think, was the one that was most well-attended and probably the best and most productive one we've had so far. We are carrying over that tradition, trying to bring that forward to this year, and we are doing it again on the 11th. I believe this year we've also invited the Board of Adjustment to attend, so I think that's good to have some interaction between our design review committees and the board. So we're looking forward to hosting that with you and providing some more training, and hopefully we'll be able to get some interaction amongst the commissions.
Okay, terrific.
Great idea, by the way.
I'm sorry?
It's a great idea to get the Board of Adjustment
Yes,
in there.
December 11th. Do you have the? Oh, Planning Commission's also
Good.
attending, okay.
Excellent.
Do you know what the time is? And it's at the same place we had it last year, the Cox? Okay.
I would suggest some team building activities. I think a game of Twister might be called for with the BOA. And
Yes. Yes.
Oh, food.
We can do some of that samurai suit stuff, maybe. Not the samurai, the sumo suits, yeah.
we've already done the samurai. Time for the sumo. Item B2, the demolition criteria. Did you want to discuss that?
Yeah, that will be in effect at the end of this month. None of the applications that come in before that date will be subject to it, but everything that comes in December 1st or afterwards, we would be able to start using the criteria in that new ordinance when we get demolition applications. So after a long battle and uphill effort, we finally got that through, and so it's another tool in our toolbox to help us through those applications on demolitions.
Perfect. And when that becomes enforceable, you'll give us the text, right, to put in our packets?
Yes, you'll get a new updated packet.
Okay. Terrific. Are there any comments from commission members? No, I had a question, and I was going to ask Lisa, but maybe Rita is a good person to ask as well. And that was, so I was going over the terms for everybody, just at my spare time. I'm, don't really have a lot going on socially, so I have time to go over my my UDC notebook. And I noticed that Betsy, you don't expire until 2018 because you're in that new role now. Yeah. And but then everyone else is either going to expire quickly, but Ben and Donna and Jorge, I think, will quickly be reappointed. But the rest of us, I believe, are termed out and just kind of on borrowed time right now. Yeah,
Happens.
yeah, and
When you say termed out, tell me about that.
Well,
The term shall be for 2 years, or until his or her successor takes office.
right, and that's, and thank you, and that's what I mean. We're kind of on, we're legally here, but we're kind of in suspended animation, waiting for that replacement to come and take over.
So,
I had one question for Lisa, and maybe I'll just pitch it to you, Michael. Do we have people in the pipeline coming through? I know that John has been, his term expired in 2013, and I'm just wondering if we're going to backfill him.
Since Lisa joined our staff, she's been very vigilant about, on all the design review committees and commissions, trying to drum up business, as it were.
Right.
And have people in the pipeline. I'm not sure what the status is for this particular commission, but we're facing some of the same issues at Stockyards, for example. So in that area, we rely heavily on the folks that are already on that committee to get suggestions for new members. And if you any of you have suggestions for us, please pass them on to either myself or to Lisa, and we'll get them the application they need to be filled out and put before the mayor for appointment. I would have to talk to her and see what she knows about what she has available for the people that might be getting turned down soon. So
Okay.
right now, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you if she has anybody specifically in mind.
Gotcha,
Can I
thank
ask
you.
a question?
Yeah.
So when you say termed out, you've finished all of your terms, and are you just termed out for that 2-year term?
Well, when I spoke to Lisa about it, it sounded like as soon as my replacement was found, I was off. And that the way they were calculating it, and again, this is something else we might ask for clarification on, I understood that Jeff, Brian, and I, and maybe others, although I'm not sure, were with the enactment, they changed the ordinance there, and that once they did, we had served enough consecutive terms that we were then going to have to sit out for a year or be off once they got a replacement for us. That's the way I interpreted, or at least recall her explaining it to me. I could be wrong, or my memory could be faulty, but I believe that's what she was saying.
What I've been told, because we have an empty position on DDRC, is that they have all of the applications in queue to be selected. But we've had a position open for over 6 months with nobody sitting in it, and I've been asking for that position to be filled, because that does put a commission at risk of maybe not having quorum, and that I've been told month after month that it's going to happen anytime.
Okay.
That's the rule, that even though, and the one I have is downtown design, but the language seems to be the same, members who have served 3 consecutive terms may be reappointed after having rotated off the committee for at least 1 full year. But then you go back to the other, which says you serve until your successor is named.
Right. I think when they define term, it's your...
The whole thing.
Right, it's your... So my second question maybe is a bit more subtle, so I'm glad you're here. The question is, so I'm chair, but the spirit of the ordinance seems to suggest they want term limits. So I understand about serving on the commission until my replacement is named,
Yeah.
but is it really fair for me to be chair if I've in effect served the prescribed amount of time? Shouldn't someone who has remaining time on their term, in keeping with the spirit of the ordinance, be the chair?
Well, the vote, according to your bylaws, is the chairman of the commission is elected by a majority vote. So if they decided that for however long you're here, they want you to be the chair, then you would be voted into that position. The election is the first regular meeting in January of each calendar year. So
Okay, I'll just not keep everybody here, but I'll just mention that we might really, at least I personally, am not sure I feel comfortable being chair if the spirit of the ordinance is, they want to rotate people and keep the fresh blood going. So just to give notice to everyone, I may decide I'm not going to even run or be nominated for chair next year, just in case anybody wants to think about that role and themselves and how they might be interested in it or not. Hopefully, how they might be interested in it. Okay. Any other comments from commission members? All right. The next meeting date is in the agenda. If there are no objections, we will consider ourselves adjourned by unanimous consent. Thank you.